Alright, so I do have plans to do a couple things here specifically, but just things I didn't want to do off stream, but it's not going to be too long. But they're just things I didn't quite want to do off stream, because I felt like they were more substantial than I'd be comfortable doing on my own. So, there we go. Hopefully that audio is not too loud. As long as I'm speaking clearly enough, I think we should be fine. So I have a list of a couple things I need to do. Need to make these, what I call this Skybox Blocker. Need to put the doors in, the audio, the lockers, the light probes, the beds, and the mirrors. Mirrors are optional, something I'll put in later. But the first thing I want to do is put in the beds. I was looking around for models for the beds earlier, and I couldn't find the correct ones, so we're just going to use the generic bed that I have in all my other worlds, and just hope that's good enough. So if I just find the model for it, there it is. I'll just drop this down onto all of these and orient them correctly before I go ahead and... Next time I do a light bake, this way it'll have the actual beds in correctly. Well, obviously there's still the incorrect beds, but at least it will have beds now instead of it just being a frame. And of course, I mean, it's Star Citizen bed. Of course it fits in there on that nicely. It's made for this. I will switch the materials out on these though. I have I know what color they need to be. It's like a tan-ish color. I just gotta figure out what exactly, which like shade exactly I want to use for this. Actually, I can just duplicate that over, can't I? Not have to worry about lining it up laterally. Alright, there we go. Yeah, these beds are definitely a bit too large, but it's okay. Now, actually, now that I think about it, I think I might also be putting them in the wrong direction. I think it's supposed to face this way. So we'll just do that. Whoops. This one, I actually have no idea which direction it's supposed to be facing, but I'm going to make it face this way because it seems like having your head next to this would be really bothersome. Alright, so the beds... 2, 3, 4, 5... And I'm going to put this... I'm going to just drop these under the static objects and make them completely static. There we go. Does this have generate light map UVs? Okay, that's something I forgot, I guess, on... Oh, interesting. Okay. So you're telling me that when I baked lights on my other worlds, the beds didn't actually get counted with the light map. That's annoying and worrying and annoying. More just annoying than anything else. So I basically just copied this over. So now I can just drop this onto the pillow, the bed, and the mattress is also like a tan-ish color. Like, I can't get the correct material, the model, but at the very least I can get a similar color scheme. And I think that'll be good enough. Or rather, it'll have to be good enough because I don't feel like doing anything else. Alright, so, let's see. If I turn lighting back on, of course it's just like a matte color because there's no like reflections or anything to go on with it. So, you know, there's no actual lighting data for it to draw from yet. But if I grab my recordings real quick, OBS recordings, it should be this one. I should have a nice shot of the bed. There we go, perfect. So I'm gonna drag that to my other screen real quick. Let's see. So I need to match that color, which is definitely, yeah, it's definitely more of a tan color. So maybe somewhere around there, and then I can just like desaturate a little bit more. I feel like that's about the right color. So if I do that for, well, no, this part is definitely more of a darker hue. So I'm gonna actually, I actually kind of like it where it is now. And honestly, I think I'm gonna desaturate that just a bit more, I think. We'll put that at 95, 15, and 35, just so it's as a very slight hint of tan, or like, whatever else I want to say. And this, I'll leave it that color for the time being. I can always edit this more later. Oh, I assigned the wrong material to it by accident, that's why it looks bad. Gotcha, gotcha, okay. Right, so, obviously, that is not the right bed. But I spent a solid half hour earlier today looking for this, and I couldn't find it, so I just said, you know what, it's not that important. It really doesn't matter quite that much. Nobody's going to miss it. Paste this in, and then darken it. Yeah, I don't know about that. What if I do that, and then... Okay, I'll drop the darkness down on this some. There we go. That looks alright. I'll have to edit the material again after I've done the light bake, most likely, just because once the light bakes, it'll look different, like everything else. All the materials have had to be completely redone, especially with the new color schemes and everything I had to do for them. But yeah, it looks decent, partially due to the reflection probes, mostly due to the reflection probes. Honestly, I found that's the most important part, is the fake specular highlights and everything, making it look reflective and shiny. Like, overemphasizing the glossiness of the actual material to give it that kind of sheen that you would get from a specular reflection, or in Star Citizen's case, a screen space reflection, which is why we're using box projection on the reflection probes to kind of give that illusion. And that's why I have these here. I call these light spheres, because basically what they do is I put them on the light, wherever the light sources are, these go on, at the color of the light source. So when the reflection probes render, they pick these up as bright spots, and will give you these nice highlights, where normally a real-time light would kind of do a similar thing, where it will give you like a bright spot, where a specular highlight, a specular reflection, where that light would be. So, you know, as we're going around, you can kind of see it here ever so slightly. Nope. As I kind of move the camera around, you can kind of see a hint of orange there from the lights over there and lights in the ceiling and the walls. It's very subtle if you're not looking for it, but it's just enough that as you're going around, the materials are just enough reflective enough to be affected by it. Some of them aren't, like this one isn't very reflective at all. And actually, now that I look at this great material here is not having it at all. Oh geez. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So now my question is, was that actually specular? No, that I just put the diffuse in. Okay. That makes it look a lot better. But yeah, I kind of just got to go around to these like this, for example. It's you can't really see the reflection that well. Oh, wait, which material is this? That's... Oh, the Atlas material. Right. Yeah, this one's a bit difficult because the specular on this one is preset. So, like, doesn't really matter what I do with it. I'd actually have to remove the specular map. And there you go. Now you can see I can actually, you know, make it a little bit more reflective, but in cases like this, it's just simply matte, and there's nothing really I can do about it, which is fine. Not everything in the ship has to be shiny. Which is something I've had to tell myself as I'm trying to make everything look super reflective, because screen space reflections are very common on almost everything. And I have to remember, no, not everything as screen space is reflective and shiny. Doesn't need to be. The main material here I've made a bit more shiny, just, I don't know, I like the way it looks. I might drop that down a little bit because it is a bit excessive. So maybe I drop down to 0.5 instead. Just a little bit less obvious, but still noticeable enough that you can tell. Now, materials like this, for example, that are obviously a shiny metal, those can totally stay super nice and reflective like that. But it's also little details and little subtleties that make the lighting look reflective and expressive, as opposed to being just a matte light bake, like something in my Mercury Star Runner or my older worlds where there was just no reflectivity at all, except in very certain materials, which again, the Star Runner actually did that pretty well with a couple materials that were actually pretty reflective and shiny. It's one of the perks of unintentional perks of my shader that I made, and of course that works with other ones, but the shader especially really works well with the specular reflections, working really nice with the reflection probes and such. But yeah, and that's the one thing I had to learn, is that everything has reflections, even if it's just very, very subtle. You don't want to do it too much. It's okay to not be able to, like this, for example. Like, it's okay. Like, if I turn that up, the specular up to, like, full, it doesn't look very good. But if I turn it down too much, now it's just white. And I could darken this texture a bunch. But I honestly, I like having this a bit of a brighter a brighter colored material. I don't know if this is accurate to the ship exactly, because the ship is so darn dark, it's impossible to see anything. Honestly, the lighting in the interior of the Corsair is pitiful. But for what it's worth, I think this looks good. It's not perfectly accurate, but then again, I don't think anybody is expecting it to be. It's probably better than any, you know. This is also honestly coming out better visually than I ever expected to. The first couple times I did a light bake, it looked horrible, and that set my expectations, and I was honestly surprised when I got to realized, oh right, this is how I'm supposed to do it to make it look decent. Alright, so the next thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just straight go ahead and drop in all of the light probes. So next time I do decide to do a good old light bake, these will come in as well, and I don't have to worry about them afterwards. And there's a nifty little tool here that is very annoying because it works great for placing light probes in large areas. However, it breaks my Unity project, so once I'm done with it, I have to delete it and then re-add it once I need it again. But it's worth it because, well, it allows me to place down these giant boxes, tell it how many light probes are going to go inside, and then just, well, like if I do, let's say just, you know, 10 by 10 and then 10. And it'll place light probes just like that. Though I do think 10 in this area specifically is a bit excessive, so I can drop that down by 5, and then 10. And there's a bunch of, there's fixed, there's float here, which gives it the difference between these two is that with float I can change the size of it and it'll maintain that same distribution inside, whereas fixed will, well, it's a fixed value inside the box. So if I squish it, so too do the distance between the probes, the density of the probes got squished also. I just realized that I never switched this over. Oh, I'm so sorry for anybody who comes back and watches the VOD. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh gosh. Luckily, I've only been live for 20 minutes. So we didn't miss too much. If I end up uploading these to YouTube, I'll probably have to just delete that section from the video entirely. Actually, if I do upload these to YouTube in a VOD, for like a, I don't know what you call it, I don't know, just if I make like a VOD channel or somewhere, just upload these as a stream archive, I'll definitely be doing that, where I'll just edit out the intros and stuff so you don't have to have that dead space in there. But I mean, at least my advice still stays the same, but at least, you know, you can't see what I'm looking at, but I'm sure you'll be able to tell as I go. Yes, this is what I was talking about, it being shiny. This is what I was talking about. And this here, it's very subtly reflective. You probably wouldn't notice it immediately, but it is there. Same with this. There's a very subtle, tiny reflection. Even looking at it, I can't tell, but there is a very, very tiny, itty-bitty subtle reflection there. That's not as much of an impact as much as this is. Like, even here, the reflection probes are doing their work to make it look just a little bit, when I get that little bit of rim light around the edge from the reflection of the light sources and these are light spheres I was talking about, where they're just emissive spheres that I placed around when the reflection probes pick up to give it those bright spots, to make it look like there's a actual specular reflection, when in fact it's just a, well, I mean, it is a specular reflection, you know, a light reflection. It's just, what's it called? Emulating the effect that a real-time light would have, where there's a bright point, which I can actually add a light to show for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, there you can see. There's that really, really bright spot when I'm looking at the angle. And that's kind of what this means. Obviously, it's not nearly as intense, but that's kind of what this means to imitate, is that effect of those little bright spots, those bright points around the area. So I'm going to continue to place these light probes. This is what I was talking about when it gets squished. If you... the density of the actual light doesn't change. So this script, I believe, this asset is called Simple Light Probe Placer. It does that. It places light probes in a very simple way. So usually what I end up doing is I place a bunch of these boxes around in places that I want. And then I just kind of go through and do the details by hand because, well, I learned the hard way that having light probes clipping into things is not a good idea. You don't want them clipping into stuff, you just want them right on the edge of objects and such. Because if you don't know, the way light probes work is they read the brightness level of the environment around them, and that's how things like avatars and dynamic objects and such get their reading for how bright or dark they should be in that specific area when there's no real-time lighting. In which my worlds, there isn't any real-time lighting, except for very specific situations for very specific objects. But the avatars and the players and such don't get real-time lighting in my worlds. So, it'll be clipping in here a bit, but I just I don't care enough to worry about that right now. Yeah, so I think 5 is a bit excessive, so we'll go down to 3, and then we'll do 20. Okay. Cool. And after that, I'll go ahead and just duplicate this first one again. Move it over to the cafeteria area. There is a strong chance, though, that I will, in fact, have to restart Unity in order to have this work correctly, because it does tend to glitch out like it did just then. Luckily, I know how to fix that specific glitch, but Unity's, like I said, editor scripts in Unity, especially this one, they're great, but they have a tendency to just kind of freak the heck out and stop working. Lose their crap completely. There are going to be some clipping into the table, but if I remember to delete them, then I do. And that'll be good. If I don't remember to delete them, then oh well. If you're clipping into the table, your lighting's probably going to, you know, nobody should be clipping into the table anyway, so it doesn't, I don't really have to care. And I can just have another one in here. Forgot to adjust the values on the other one, I just realized. That one. That's a lot of light probes. Let's run it down 3, 3, and 5. No, not 35. 4, 4, and 8. That'll do. This over, scoop this over, make sure that's not clipping into the floor, make sure that's not clipping into the ceiling. Okay, that should be good enough. Right, so I can do that like 2, 2, and 2. You bump that up to like, we can do 5. Yeah, we'll do 3. 3, 5, and 3. It's good enough. Actually, I can probably scoot that out a bit as well. Oh yeah, I just realized that's going to be clipping into the wall there. Oh. That's unfortunate. Oh. Okay. Now I can actually probably grab this one. That's a decent size. And drop this down into the bedrooms here. good, that's good, that's good. Scoot this over a little bit. And then I'll duplicate it again. But this time, make it really short. And place it above the bed. Usually I do prefer doing this manually, but in worlds of this size, doing it roughly is usually good enough. Sometimes, like, the doors and stuff can get messed up, but yeah, whatever. So this is going to be, let's see, higher density, lower density. I think a density of 3 is good on this. We'll do density of 2. 2, 2, and 5. That seems like it'll be okay. Because I don't believe these are clipping into anything, so I think it'll be fine. And I'll just duplicate that for the rest of the beds. Centered. Close enough. Alright, that one. I can duplicate this for the main part of the rest of the bedrooms. And they all connect to each other, so if the actual boxes aren't very close, that's also okay. As I've learned how light probes work, I've cared less about being super precise with them. Because as long as they're near enough to a surface to get the light data from it, it'll give you an approximate light brightness level of what your object should be. And this is one of the more boring parts of doing this, so I kind of just care less about it. In the end, I'm not getting paid for this, so I don't really have to, don't end up really getting cared too much. Yeah, senses. Let me try that again. In the end, I'm not getting paid for this, so I don't really need to care that much. Okay, let's see. Density of 3, density of 1, 2, okay, that needs to be bumped up. That can, density of 5 is fine, density of 5, there we go. And let me see. What volumes do I have? Okay, I have one there. I'm gonna have to probably set this up, make probes for that area manually. I can probably put, I can create a volume for here. I'll create a volume at the top of the stairs and the bottom of the stairs and just connect it between manually. I can probably create a couple volumes for around this area. Because it's a bit more tricky because they are all boxes. I can actually probably copy the one I did for the bathroom over to the elevator here. I was gonna say that's about good, but it definitely isn't. So let me scooch that over. Move that down a bit. And that'll be about good. Alright, let's go back here. And actually, I'm going to grab this one and move it over to here. This will be my one at the top of the stairs. worst comes to worst, I can also just edit the light probes manually. There's really not a problem with doing that. I just do this to get a bunch of probes down as during the initial placement. Actually, why don't I just do this? I can just drag this over in its entirety. Just to cover the entire area. Can duplicate it. Down. And then just have this cover this area. Of course, I gotta adjust the density of these. Let's say. I think that can be 5. That needs to be 3. Four. 6, 7. Yeah, there we go. This one, we'll do 6 on that. We'll do 8 on that. Three is good for there. Yeah, I'll just grab a couple probes and just pull those down manually. It's not worth placing another volume for. Alright, duplicate this and drag this into the engineering area. Now, this is when it gets annoying. Because this is an oddly shaped area. And oddly shaped areas are painful to put boxes in. I know this from placing reflection probes in here. It isn't good. It's annoying. I could just not worry about it and just place it in any way I want, just across the entire area and have it clipping into a bunch of stuff. But that's a bad idea, because that means that if you get close to an object with a light probe clipping into it, you'll just have no lighting in that area, because the lighting doesn't extend outside of the area of the mesh. So having light probes clipping into things is generally a bad idea. Cases like this, that's probably not going to be a problem because it's just really close to those. That's a very odd spot to be in, so it's not really a huge worry. And I don't really worry about the ceiling too much, because if you jump, you're not going to be going up that high anyways. Or staying up there for very long. Plus, the collision for the ceiling is pretty low, so... Actually, no, the ceiling is pretty... The collision for the ceiling is definitely pretty high. Alright, so... that can be turned down a little bit. So can that. And actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and just get you out of the way. Duplicate that over to the other side. On each side. 4 of these total, 1 for each side. More accurately. So that should be 4 of those. Nice, nice. And then I can go ahead and add, let's go ahead and say, stop doing that. adjust this to fit in these strange little walkway, like standing areas here. So I don't have to place those manually. Can you please just, there we go. Density on that. And I can also move this over there. Okay, so I need to fill in these areas, which actually I can probably just hijack one of these for. What does this end up looking like? They intersect a little bit, it's fine. I haven't actually tried doing this before, so we're going to see if putting these at an angle is going to mess up the script. I sure hope not. That'll make my life a whole lot worse. Whoopee. Okay. Without thinking about it anymore, we're going to go ahead and just drop one into here. Just like that. Wonderful. Actually, I don't need to do that. I can just move that over a little bit to get it from clipping to into anything. It's the correct height as well. And I can just duplicate it again and move it over here. So now we have both sides of this area covered. Those are fine. They're completely fine. And okay, so where don't I have? Okay. So this area is good, that area is good, all of this is okay. Okay, so that goes all the way down the center here. So now I need, let's grab this one and duplicate that. I can use this on either side over here. Yeah, looks about good. We just move that over, I guess. Not worrying about flipping into the door here. It's fine. It does appear to be clipping into the ground, which I don't like, so let me scoot that up a little bit. Turn that up to, I don't know. No? Oh, this needs to be turned up. There we go, yep. 8. And let me actually do the same thing with this one. I can extend that outwards and bump that up to 8. So now we're looking at this. Okay. So now I need one for... now I just need light probes for this main area here. I can probably ignore putting light probes in this part here, because the collision prevents you from getting further than this, like, terminal here. And you couldn't fit your player collider underneath this slope anyway. So I can probably just put a box there. And then a box around the top of that. See, actually, I could probably just put one giant box around this area. And then just 2. I can probably put 2 giant boxes here. Not giant, they're reasonably sized. because I don't feel like grabbing one of the other ones, we'll just grab one of these. Alright, so that's gonna start there, it's gonna end there at the step. From one wall to the other. If the probes clipping into the chair becomes problematic, I will fix that later. See, how's that distribution? It's actually alright, I'll leave it. Light probes are not something I care a great deal about. I don't care a great deal about the light probes. They're not really that important. Well, they are. They are important. I just don't care. They're definitely very important, in fact. Cool. I think that should be all areas covered. And now I can just tell it to create light probes. Give that a second. And then I can go ahead and just delete all the probe volumes. Now we have light probes. Just around the entire place. And I can remove that component. And then I can go ahead and hit edit here. I'm actually gonna do it this way. Just manually set these probes over. Just so they're close enough. There we go. Oh, we only got ones on that side, though. Oh, right. Oh, right. It was because I was really... Okay. Well, I can just copy those and then paste them over to the other side. There we go. Now I can do the same thing for these over here. Let me just grab a couple of these on the bottom layer here. Actually, I just want these. There we go. I have an advanced understanding about how light probes work. I have a basic understanding, and that is enough for me. It's enough for me to gather the information I need to do a passable job at managing and handling them. I expected them to be lower to the ground. I guess I'll just have to fix that myself then, huh? Shouldn't take too long. Oh, I accidentally selected one I didn't mean to. Duplicate, move it to the ground. At least a bit closer. So it seems like the script did have some errors, which is okay. I mean, it's a free asset, so I'm not going to complain. It's free and it does its job. Doesn't do it spectacularly or in any wonderful fashion, but it does it. And if the lighting ends up looking really, really weird and awful, then, well, I'll come back and I'll fix it. But that's interesting. Some parts seem to have put light probes down how I thought they would, and some parts haven't. So that's rather interesting. I probably should have a higher density of light probes in certain areas. But again, I just kind of don't really care. I probably don't need this many in the cargo hold here. I definitely don't need as many in the middle of empty space as I do. But like I've said previously, it is good enough to pass. So next time I go ahead and hit the bake button, it'll also bake the light probes for me. Okay, so I've got all that. Let me check that off my list. Light probes are done. Right, now we have to create the Skybox Blocker. So let me actually do that real quick before I do anything else. And this is super simple, super easy, and very, very basic. Normally I do it in Unity, but I'm just going to do it in Blender because I can. So here's what we do for this. I'm literally just going to put out the collision and the nose. And I'm going to create a cube. Skybox Blocker. And the entire purpose of this is... Oh, Blender. Oh, Blender. Oh, oh. Because I accidentally pulled up the hard ops menu that opens all of the material selection, it's now decided that it needs to load all of them at once in the entire project. No, Blender, I did not need you to do that, nor did I want you to. Let's shut down wallpaper engine. And now Blender's not responding. How wonderful. In the meantime then, I guess we'll go ahead and start working on... Alright, I can also mark off beds. Beds are also done. I can start working on... Blender's having an aneurysm over here. Okay, there it goes. Come on. Okay. So I can get rid of the holds. I can show the... I can add a cube, name that Skybox Blocker. This time, I'm going to not wait on Asset Loader. Hard Ops menu, skip over material, and go flip. There we go. This is pretty much as simple as it gets. Normally with a more complex shape, I'd have to worry about it more if I was doing it. And this is just for a visual thing. If I'm doing this for like the occlusion like I did for the Redeemer, it'd have to be a bit more complex, but because this is just, again, a visual aid. Why is it frozen? Don't tell me you're trying to load the materials even though I didn't. Blender? Blender, please. Blender, please. Right. So. We're doing it in Unity. Right, so I'm going to remove the box collider. I'm going to set this to unlit black. And then just make it really wide, and then really long. And then move that up. Also, the reason I'm not putting on more music is because I'm going to be working with the audio in a second, and I'd have to shut off the music anyway. So I might as well just keep it off. Let's put this at 50. 65, no, 55. 55 works. The issue here is I have to make sure that this isn't visible from the cockpit, which it definitely is. It's the reason I want to do it in Blender, but Blender's gonna say no! Blender's got a freeze on me! Blender's got a freeze on me! End task, Blender. I could use Paul. You know what? Actually, I could use Pro Builder. Also, before I forget about it, let me just where is it? You know what? Just show and Explorer, assets, date modified, simple light pro placer. Delete. There we go. Now let's see if Blender will start up, but this time I'm going to approach it from a different angle, aka not doing any of that at all. I'm just not going to worry about the cube. I'm just going to start it with a plane. That, if I remember correctly, should start with its face up. Back face culling. Yep. So you need... Why? 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 I'm gonna have to restart my computer if I want to get rid of this. This happens... Blender, why are you doing this all of a sudden? Oh, Blender, please, Blender. Ah, gosh. Okay, let's do a test. Do I have a time limit? Is that what it is? I just have a time limit. So if I open up the Corsair, I'm just gonna leave it here for a second and see if it freezes on its own. In the meantime, we'll keep doing this. Why do I do this? Well, because there's holes in the ship. And instead of patching the holes, I just put these around it, which block off the skybox, so you can't, if you do end up seeing a hole in the ship, it doesn't look like that. It just looks black, and you can't tell there's a hole. Like here, for example. There's some nice giant holes here. If these are off, you can see the skybox through them. But if they're on, well, you just don't see anything behind it at all. It's a very hacky solution to a very simple problem. But it works very effectively and causes me a lot less pain. Alright, let's see. That's the problem with using these, is that they get very intrusive on this main cockpit area. If I can make like a shell that wraps around the entire thing using Blender... Oh my gosh, it's literally just a time limit. I'm just using Blender on a time limit. Okay. Well, idea number 2. Blender. Kill. Let me open up a fresh Blender project that isn't the Corsair. And see if it does the same thing. I feel like it's definitely going to. Okay. Yep. Wonderful. Oh, thank you, Blender. It's already not responding. Let's open up a different version of Blender. Okay, you know what? We'll do it in Blender 2.8. Cool. File, import, FBX. Okay, right. Wow. Wow. Okay, so Blender 3.0 is just dead. It's just completely gone. Okay, wait. Okay, something's here. Something's here. It's working. I'm trying to jinx it. Freeze. Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. Okay. Let me grab Show and Explore models. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, hold on. All versions of Blender are doing this? It's not just that version of Blender? Okay, my computer's messed up. Okay, my computer's dying. Oh no. Well then, let me see. Do I have okay, let's see. Where is it? Package Manager. Pro Builder. Is that what it's called? It's called Pro Builder? No? Um uh, excuse me? My assets, Unity registry, Pro Builder, install. Man, I'm having to use Pro Builder. I'm really desperate, huh? I say that, but Pro Builder is actually a really, really good tool. I just like Blender. It's very good for like prototyping and like blocking levels out and such. It's very versatile. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna go ahead and start diving into the sound effects here. So if I go into my audio extracts, I should have, yep, there we are, okay. We have ambience drone. I'm gonna go ahead and turn up my audio for this. It's very quiet. These sound like they're, yeah, this is definitely, okay, that's a nice sound. That sound is definitely like an engine sound or something. Okay, so now I have Pro Builder. I'm actually going to remove these. Tools, Pro Builder window. New shape. Cube. Cube. Build. 0, 0, 0. Wonderful. So you down there. Right. So Pro Builder. Foot normals. So for one thing, that's exactly what I want actually. And now I'm gonna go. How do I do this again? Wait, new poly shape? Maybe? Where is it? Where am I looking? Is there a thing somewhere that I'm supposed to be looking at? New shape, cube, build. Cube. Okay. Open Pro Builder. Huh? What did I? Wait, what? Wait. Help. Ah. Smoothing, UV editor orientation, export, open Pro Builder. my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so how about I just flip normals, go back to face select. There we are. Now we're talking. All right. Okay, got us. Oh, okay. I see how this works. Right, so for this back part, it can probably just be a giant square. I don't have to worry about being precise on this back part. It's only when I get towards the front that I have to make it more subtle and precise. More accurate. And actually, since I'm not working on sounds right now, I am gonna put on some more music for us. Or for me, because I'm the only one here. Haha, whatever. Doing this to archive it. So I think I definitely want to I want to stop it here and kind of taper it off at this point. How do I extrude? Grow, export, okay, no. Set trigger, duplicate, delete, triangulate, bevel, flip, extrude. Scale it down this way, scale it down this way. Extrude faces. Scale it down even more. Can you see that through there? Okay, so I can't have it clipping through the top or the bottom of this spherical part here. Okay, so that should be good there. That should be good there. It does need to be a little bit taller and a little bit higher up though. There we go. And now I can have it extrude again and scale way the heck down. Okay, that's a component door that you don't get to open, so it's fine if I clip through that. Which means I can make that even thinner. How's that look? Looks about good. I can probably even shrink it down vertically a bit more. Yeah, definitely. I can do it even more probably. I don't want to go too far, but I'm going to call that about good. And probably horizontally just a tad bit more as well. But again, I also don't want to stretch that, push my limits on that too much either. Extrude faces out to the front here. Now, this is when it's going to get challenging. And actually, that's okay, I think, because you can't see through there, can you? Even if you do see through there, you're just going to see black. Okay, so that's totally okay. And honestly, I think at this point, I think it's actually fine, because Because yeah, any holes you see there are just going to be blocked off. Okay. So I think I should be able to delete this face. Delete faces. Now I can go to edge select here. Is this the edge? Yeah, vertex. Can I bevel this? Or wait, do I need to have the face selected? Fill hole, offset, split. Flip normals, mirror, transform, set collider, set trigger. Can I bevel? Bevel. Bevel. Distance 0.5? Let's do 1. Wow, okay, that's I mean, you can't see it though from the inside. And that's really all that matters here, is being able to see it from the inside. Oh yeah, that's actually perfect. Okay, cool. And go back to face select. Over here I can delete faces. And now it's practically invisible. Except for if you look over there, in which case it's not invisible anymore. But okay, so it is possible to look backwards and see it over there, but I think that'll be okay. I could also bevel it, just to be safe. Bevel 0.8. Bevel. To be fair, if you're gonna see the Skybox Blocker, you're also gonna see the rest of that, so that side's basically invisible. You can see over that side, but it's okay. I'm gonna call that good. And I'm gonna drop in the unlit black material again. Just like so. And now, if I go over to like all around here, now this is going to be completely blocked off by this nice Skybox Blocker here. Oh, wait. That face needs to move back. Okay, cool. That was clipping a little bit. That's my one thing, is I gotta make sure I gotta avoid clipping. I might actually use Pub Builder more often for this. This is actually way... No, I'd say definitely doing it in Blender is definitely easier, but I do get a much more accurate sense of how it's going to look. Ouch. I bonked my headphones into my mic. You probably heard that. A much better sense of how it's going to look if it's able to be seen while clipping and such. Those kinds of things. Cool, okay. Alright, so Skybox Blocker. Alright, light probe. I'm just gonna rename that light probes. Audio interaction. Okay, so the occlusion area can go up there as well. And pause. And turn the desktop volume back up, because now we gotta worry about this. Let me go. Like, is this models? Okay, no. Nope. Back to recordings. We'll grab recordings from here. SC no. Recordings, OBS, this one. This is the one I recorded for audio. Okay, so pretty much the entire thing has one constant sound. I'm gonna add some more variation of my own accord, but... I definitely like that sound. This is what I'm using to listen to stuff, by the way. Ow. Those sound effects are going to go in the engineering area just to add some more detail. Oh yeah. That's it. I think that might be the sound. Hold on. I know it's a combination of things. Yep, that's definitely one of the sounds though on the ship. I'm definitely going to be using this at least. Okay, so I'm going to copy this to Corsair audio. I have a folder for this already. Let's see. That one's a winner. It's copied. Copy electrical box. There's the half sound effect. This is the sound, right? That's the sound. Yep. That's definitely the closest so far. Obviously, like I said, it's a bunch of different sounds combined together. But these vent sound effects tend to be heavily used. Like that as well. That sound is probably going to be one of the underlying tone sound effects that give it the detail to make it sound accurate. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to add a bunch of 2D audio sources. So let me add audio source. That's a 2D VRC spatial audio source, and make sure this is in fact not spatialized. I can put the priority down to like, I don't know, 200. It's background audio. The volume's good, pitch is fine, stereo pan, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Okay. And now we call this ambience 1. Duplicate. Okay. Now I'm gonna put you on my audio. SD2, Corsair. There's my Corsair folder. Where's my audio? Where's my audio folder? No, that's my materials folder. Audio and lock. Okay, housing, electrical box, cabling, tone hab, there we go. Ambience 1, tone hab, ambience 2 is going to be ventilation system. Ambience 3 is going to be not that one. Yep, that's it. Okay. Ambience 3 is going to be this. That's the tone cockpit. Yep. Cabling, electrical box, component housing. I don't want that ambience drone yet. Okay, the machinery sound. Okay. No. Right, thank you for the follow. Ambience 4, I'm going to make the bulkhead machinery. This is going to go towards this is going to be in the cargo hold. I think this component housing is going to go in the... So I'm going to do engineering ambience, and we'll do that. This is going to be hold ambience. This is going to be main ambience 1, main ambience 2, and main ambience 3. So this is going to go there. This is going to go... Actually, you can stay right the heck here. And actually, I want to move this up a little bit as well. And let's do 3, I don't know, 1.5? Yep, there we go. And make sure that's centered as well. Perfect. And you are going to be a 3D audio source, but also not spatialized. That is going to have a linear fall off, and a min distance of 1 and a max distance of 10. We'll do the max distance of 5 then. Actually, we'll move that down a little bit just so you get the correct audio as you come in and out. And we'll do a max distance of, I don't know, 7. Though actually, we'll keep it there because I don't want you being able to hear this while you're on the beds. Okay, so if I go ahead and just hide all of those, let me turn the lighting back on because it looks ugly with the lighting turned off. Unity does not do Fulbright very well. Okay, so audio. Now, spread 180. So now, even though the audio is in fact a 3D audio source, it's playing like in the back of your head. Which is a bit weird. To be 3D. So if I do that, let's see. As you rotate your head around, you can still hear it. Stereo pan there is fine. How do... I forgot the way I did this before, my other worlds. Give me a... let me go ahead and check that real quick, actually. If I go to my scenes folder here, I should be able to find... I don't know, let's go to the 400i, which has a lot of these audio sources. Alright, let's say. Audio. Audio source. Airlock drone. Right, okay, so you've got priority 250, volume 0.5, pitch, spread 30. Okay, that's a bit weird. Okay, yeah, so yeah, okay, so yeah, this is, okay, yeah. Spread 180. All of that, okay. And then, of course, you just have a linear fall off with... Okay, so I'll just leave it how it is then, because it seems like it's going to be okay. Because, I mean, it's going to be pretty quiet anyways in the background, so you're probably not going to notice it very much. In any case... Example. You'll be able to notice it a little bit. Once it's in a Doppler level down, you can't really tell. Cool. And now we have the hold ambience, which again, also going to be 180 with a spread of, let's do 20 this time. Linear fall off and Doppler level at 0. 3D audio source. And this is nice and easy because I can just drop it there, so the moment you exit the hold, it leaves. And now I can do a min distance of 19. Let's do a, like, we'll do 17. We'll do 20. Okay, actually, here's the thing I have to check real quick before I do anything else. All of these, date modified, sort by type, ambience drone, is this the right one? Okay. Now I'm gonna go open with, right, Dark Audacity. And then I drag this in here, and then I do... Okay, it doesn't loop correctly. So, here's what I do to make things that don't loop correctly. It's pretty simple. I do a nice little fade in. I split it in half, set the halves opposite to each other. Set one to fade in as the other one fades out. And if I set this up correctly like this, obviously I gotta make sure. I could use the fade in, fade out feature, but this is way quicker. And now it loops perfectly. File, export as OGG. You know what? Save on the desktop. And I'll just go ahead and... Nope. Desktop, cut, paste, replace. And now it loops. Wonderful. Nice and easy, just like that. Component housing. Do you loop? Good enough. Good enough for me. Do you loop? Nope. Not in the slightest. Okay. we go. Export OGG. It doesn't loop properly, but the difference, if there's a little dip in audio that kind of fades in and out, it's less obvious than if it's just like a skip or like a blip in the audio that you can hear. Like that. You can clearly tell the difference there in the loop. And that is not something I can let fly. So that goes down. That goes up. That's going down too much. That goes up there. That comes down there. I'm going to move you a little bit over. Ooh, that's rough. Ooh, that's real rough. Ooh, yikes. Ooh, You know what? I don't like it, but it is better than it was before. Better than it was before. That's all we're looking for, is this improvement over its previous state. Ventilation system. I think you loop okay? Yep, you loop fine. The vent. How's the vent loop? Yep, vent loop's fine. Okay. Good enough. Wait for it to re-import things. Blah, cool. Now I can disable both of these, and then we can worry about the main ambience. Zero. Volume. 0. Volume. So first we do 0.1 volume, then we do point. Oh, I forgot to set these to loop. Oops. I forgot to set them to loop. I'm a fool. Right. Actually, I'm gonna put this one. So let me just copy component and then just paste the values over here. That one. This one. So distance 20. Put it way up here. So that spatialized audio source did copy over correctly. Wonderful. And this one is going to be a bit more severe, I'd say. Min distance 18, max distance 20. I'll do 17 and 21. This is going to be 0.2. Front here you get this nice whooshing sound here. Actually, I don't know. the hold as well. See, so this will be engineering ambience 2, and this will be engineering ambience 1. Sorry, no, not engineering. Hold ambience and hold ambience 1. So this one. So you've got a volume of 1. You've got a volume of 0.35, and you guys have both got different fall off ranges, so that's good. Say that whooshing sound. Definitely needs to be toned down a little bit. 0.5. Got our ambient sounds in. Wonderful, wonderful. Make sure all of you are looped. All of you are looped. Perfect. I'm gonna rename that as well to ambience. Now that that is done, I can close that out and I can delete audio from there. I can also delete the Skybox Blocker. So now I have the doors and the lockers. Now this is probably going to take some of the most amount of time, unfortunately. However, I don't feel like doing it right now, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is just do a good old bakery. Hello. Let me turn on my baked lights, where light spheres can be off. Static objects, make sure you guys are all static. Wonderful. Let's see, the decals are not static, so they don't matter. Well, they're not they're at least not. They don't contribute global illumination, so they're fine. Interaction, ambience, light probes. Light probes are in, everything's good. I'm gonna go ahead and just hit render. And we can go ahead and just go to AFK and put some music on, and I'll get back to you guys when this is done. All right. So, I just went ahead and baked the reflection probes and stuff again. And the lighting is splotchy in a lot of places. Like on here, it's a bit splotchy. There's some lighting artifacts and such. I'm still working on the lighting and trying to figure out how to actually make it look smoother. But here we are. It looks very nice. Oh, the beds are all nice. Oh yeah, you can see some of the lighting artifacts there. What's our light? What's our size? 32 megabytes of lighting. I'd like that to be a lot smaller. Samples far. The amount of sample points shown on surface. Distant meshes are approximately as clouds. 256. What's 256 times 2? 512. We'll do 512. So next time I bake the lighting on this, it'll be 512 instead. Bitmask, self-shadow, yeah, whatever. Let's see. Everything here, 64 samples for ambient occlusion, backface GI. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Don't check it. Drake Interplanetary, why is that backwards? Oh, I gotta go back to my decals. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Data. Okay, so I just straight up turned shading off then. Let's turn shading back on. Make it realistic. What does it do then? It looks very dark. Okay. Well, what about these decals then, huh? Is it these? Is these the decals that are like... It's this, isn't it? Yep, I knew it. This is the okay, this is the decal that's super, super bright. Light data, realistic, realistic. Shadow tint. Max brightness. Because you don't have, you know, what I want is to allow these to receive the lighting from the environment, but not like get it, you know. I don't want it to. I don't want them to cast any shadows or anything like that, but they will. That's a fake way to darken them. But it does look a lot more realistic if I do it that way. Wow, that's way better. There's still quite a few spots where lighting could be improved, but there's still It's still decent as is. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and give this an upload real quick. Builder. Actually, no. Create material. Create a thumbnail image. Corsair textures. Let me find a nice picture of the Corsair online. Let's go to SC Tools, Corsair. Let's find a really nice, like, pretty image of this thing. There we go. Okay, so if I go with downloads, so paste that in with pictures. Okay. Actually, hold on. Sort by date modified. So there's that. Let me open with... we'll just open with that with paint.net. Star. Let me just search for Star Citizen logo. I've got so many random logos in here. There we go, Star Citizen logo. Okay, hold on. The fan kit logos. Is there a Star Citizen? Yeah, there it is. We'll copy and paste that onto a new layer. And invert its colors. And then we'll give that a Gaussian blur. Drop it beneath it. There we go, give it a nice drop shadow. Save as Corsair thumbnail. I'm gonna save that as a PNG on my desktop. I go back. Assets, Corsair, textures. If I go to not my downloads. Go my desktop, grab that, put that. I do make this a text, unlit text. No. Unlit texture. Set to the thumbnail. Set material on it. And since it's unlit, it doesn't matter that it's not lit. You know, the plane is super, like, not correctly lit. If I switch this down, let's just do like 0.45. Does that look about right? Yeah, it looks about right. And then I just take the main camera. Reset. Move that down, move that over. That's our thumbnail. Copy component on that. Anybody who jumps out of the map will see that, but it's fine. I'll remove the mesh collider as well. Then I should be able to just go ahead and hit build and publish for Windows. Forgot to rebake the occlusion. Actually, I did rebake it earlier, like yesterday, I think. I did do a couple things off stream, nothing much. I just there was some collision that was messed up that I just inverted the collision on because it was like the normals were backwards, and I just baked the lighting and did some tweaking on the lighting and stuff. And just tweak the specular values on some of the materials and such. Just because baking the lighting, like I said, I can play a game or do something, tell it to bake the lighting, and then just do something else, and I have to watch a YouTube video, do whatever else. It's a bit less interesting on stream because I have to be careful of what I'm doing, because obviously I don't have it set up so that it only takes one. That, you know, like my music only comes through one audio source. It just OBS is just recording my entire desktop audio, so I can't be watching YouTube videos or whatever. So I do have to be just kind of sit here and wait while it does things. I could be on my phone too, but that's not as interesting. Just wait for this to upload. See Drake Corsair. This is accurate. Upload image, VRC, cam, paste component values. The reason I'm still streaming because I'm gonna hop in and test it after it's done uploading, which shouldn't hopefully take too long. We'll see. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's see how bad this is. And because I'm just not gonna work on this anymore tonight, even if it is broken, I'm gonna close this. More launches in desktop. To the AFK screen just to make sure that I don't show anything I shouldn't while this is loading. This music so much. Stupid loading VRChat music. I miss the melon loader days when I could replace this with something that wasn't garbage. I'm gonna pause this when we get in the world. That way we can actually hear the audio. Let's see, worlds uploaded, Corsair. Let's see, how does this preview look? Looks great. Alright, let me join on this. Come on, OBS. Come on, OBS. Okay, OBS is struggling to capture VRChat, so we're just gonna... Actually, hold on. I have an idea. If I go here, and then this, and then this, and then that, and then... Bam. You have the annoying black bar, but you don't have the rest of the stuff showing. Okay, so it looks like the reflection probes came through okay and all that. A lot of screen tearing, yikes. Let's see, this collision. Yep, that collision is indeed fixed. Cool, cool. I'm also going to go ahead and just top that volume off. Okay, maybe a bit too loud. Okay. So, yeah, that's just something to note. I'd say it all looks pretty good though. Oh, actually, something that's a good sign though. I haven't actually noticed. Yeah, you can kind of see the blocker over there. That's okay though. Yeah, I haven't really actually seen any. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure whatever sound it is that's not looping correctly. It's very, very noticeable. I didn't think it would be. It is. It's very noticeable. Keeps popping in my ear. Yep, there it is. Okay. So, things to fix later, because I'm not going to fix them right now. I want to fix them right now, but I don't have the time to, which is why I closed Unity to force myself to not. So I'll just look back at the stream VOD later. Yeah, I haven't actually tested this. Okay, so you can hop in these. Okay, the collision works well there. I haven't actually fully tested out the collision on all this to make sure I made it correctly, but it seems like it's working okay. But yeah, hold on. I can use this to kind of get an idea of the lighting conditions as I go through. Okay. So, okay. If I do this and I go to personal mirror, tracking, play space, I can actually view my entire self. Okay. So it does. Okay, so the lighting actually does change and such. Okay, so light probe. Okay, so I did do a good job with the light probes then. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh wow. Yeah. So okay. Wow. Cool. So the light probes are working great. This is actually probably the best job I've done of placing light probes, honestly. Oh, you get that glow as you get near this. Nice, nice. And I can go ahead and just turn that back off. Cool. I got some adjusting to do on the sound, the ambient sounds. They're a bit. Seems like they're a bit too much. Even obviously, even if I turn it back down to 100, they're much quieter. So the volume levels overall, I think is okay. It's just the audio effects proportional to each other. Maybe a tiny bit louder, but I'm probably going to keep most of them the same and just increase the volume of a very few couple of them. And I know the occlusion culling is working better because this is here. Before, this would be missing. Also, I don't know why the lighting does this to them, but it does, so whatever. It's not like this is an important part anyway, but... But like, if I go over here, I know before, this is a huge issue with the occlusion culling. The entire thing would just disappear. Yeah, there we go, okay. So I'm not going to say I fixed all of the occlusion culling issues, but apparently a vast majority of them are gone. Like, I don't see any popping or anything as I'm going around. And the performance is better, too. Then again, I am also on desktop versus VR, so I'll have to get back on VR to get, like, a good comparison, but yeah. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I'd call that a win. It looks like we're doing good. I think the brightness on these is about good, maybe a bit darker, but for right now I think they're good. And yeah, honestly, besides smoothing out the lighting levels, well, but just the smoothing out the lighting in general, I think the only thing I have left to do is the doors and such. And I think I'm done after that. So once I get all the doors and lockers in, it's good to go public. Cool. I'm still unsure about whether or not I like the distortion, the ripple in this, in the glass. I do kind of like it. We'll see. But yeah, I think with that, I'm gonna be heading off, and I might not have to bake the lighting again. I like the way it looks. It's good. If I figure out how to improve the lighting and make it smoother without increasing the file size, I'll do that. Otherwise, I think it looks good. So yeah, I'm nearing the end. I only have to do the one of the most painful parts, which is the doors and such. You'll see what I mean, because I will do it on stream next time. I don't know if anybody's here. If you are here, hello, thank you for sticking around. And anybody who is watching the VOD as well, I hope you enjoyed watching said VOD or listening to it. That's fine. Sorry for the 20 minutes at the beginning where I accidentally just forgot to switch off of the AFK screen. My bad. Alright, well, that's going to be it for me. Good night, y'all. Hope to see you in another stream.